What is the story for this week for the Panthers? What is the story? Because last week, I mean, do you remember where we were on Thursday of last week?
Not a great place.
It was drama-filled. It was Bryce Young. We were probably talking trades at this point in time.
Yeah.
Because they had just benched him. It was, can Andy Dalton get them to blah, blah, blah. And now look at where we are. Look how far we've come. Are the Panthers a team that just thrive in drama? Are the Panthers that couple we know that fights and fights and fights but never breaks up because they both kind of like it? They like the spice. They like the argument. They like being the center of attention. They like breaking up and making up.
I said they like making up.
Do the Panthers need to find a way to make, like, they can't all just be kumbaya and happy this week, right? Or maybe they can be. Maybe they'll find some spice with a revenge game. Andy Dalton, revenge game, playing his old team, the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't know about you, but when I think of Andy Dalton, my brain still goes to those early Bengals teams. Like, if you don't even have to do this in the NFL, but if he entered into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame and had to choose what hat to wear, he's choosing a Bengals hat.
Oh, yeah.
So, what does it mean that they're playing the Bengals in his second game, trying to build off of the theatrics, the fireworks, the lovely performance he put on the field on Sunday? Well, let's hear from him. Andy Dalton asked by the media what it's like facing his former team.
No, it's obviously fun. A ton of memories for me in Cincinnati, and there's still some coaches that are there that that were there when I was there. So it's just going to be nice to kind of get to catch up with them and get to see them. So I mean, when you see Cincy on the schedule, it's like I've had it every year except last year. So it's always fun to get the opportunity to go against them.
It's fun. Listen, revenge games matter. It's not the most important thing, but it is something that you think of before and after the game. I'm not saying you're dropping back, like in the pocket, making split-second decisions on, I really want to look good here because they let me walk 7 years ago. But they do matter. The team is aware. Right, if you're a wide receiver in a revenge game, I think the coaches know, hey, if we can, let's try to get him in the end zone. You don't really change too much, but it's on your brain. Even if there's no reason for revenge. I thought, right, one of the questions, you just heard it right there. Like, Andy Dalton keeps getting asked about playing the Bengals. There's a billion think pieces about Andy Dalton playing against the Bengals. It's his fifth time playing against the Bengals since leaving the Bengals. But there's also, like, I went and looked it up. It seems like they kind of handled everything professionally on both sides. Like, the Bengals started Andy Dalton for 9 years. They had him very, very low contract as a rookie, but then for the 5 years following his rookie contract, basically paid him $55 million. Helped him play the best years of his career. They gave him a good supporting cast. They didn't bench him. They moved on during the offseason, which is kind of the professional way to go about it. He gave them everything he had. He was a good professional face of the franchise. And then they separated and went their own way. Is that enough of a rallying cry? The one-game bump is real. Okay, and I've explained it probably too many times at this point, but I'll do it one more time. The one-game bump when either a new quarterback takes over or an interim head coach takes over, especially if they're like a beloved member of the team in their assistant coach or backup quarterback role, they take over. Everybody gets really jacked up to make sure they have a good experience. They rally around him. For that next game, a lot of times you see everybody play really, really well. And then sometimes you come back down to earth the next week. Is rallying around winning one for Andy against his old team enough to keep that rally rolling? Is that enough drama for a team that seemed to thrive in it? I always lean on, and we're 6 minutes in and we're going to one of the weirder movie references I lean on.
Okay.
You've heard of Major League, right?
Of course.
Of course you've heard of Major League 2, right?
Yeah.
Have you heard of Major League 3?
I have, actually.
I had it on VHS growing up. It was one of like the rainy day in the summer, throw on a VHS. We had Major League 3 Back to the Minors. And it's got one of the funniest movie pregame speeches of all time, where the coach is saying, like, normal coaches would stand up here and say, you got to play hard for each other, or for the kids out there that are looking up to you. This is an opportunity for you to live out your dreams playing professional baseball. But I'm not saying that before this game. I'm just asking you to win one for me. There was a rivalry between the two managers. The one guy hated the other guy, and he was going, I just want you to go out there and win one for your manager because I need this one. And it actually worked. Again, it's a movie. It always works. But Andy Dalton could do a little bit of that if he wanted to. Hey, listen, guys. Last week was great. Came in, really changed up our season. This week, I want to win one for me. I want to win one to beat the Cincinnati Bengals because I think I should still be there, getting ready to end my career and put my name up in the Ring of Honor and cruise into the retirement life as the color commentator for the Bengals, where I'm gonna live in Cincinnati the rest of my life. But they didn't want me. So I had to go to Dallas, and then I had to go to New Orleans, and I ended up here where you guys can back me up. Maybe. The hard part about it is I think the Bengals are going to be just as motivated, and it has nothing to do with Andy Dalton.
Zero.
It is as much of a must-win in Week 4 it could possibly be. I saw an analyst on Twitter floating this idea. Could a Jamar Chase or T. Higgins trade happen if they find themselves down 0-4 before the trade deadline? Now, do I think that's likely? Not with Jamar Chase. Maybe T. Higgins. But that's players don't read that stuff. They hear about it. Trust me, if their name's in trade rumors, they hear about it. That's what they're up against. We lose this game, they're talking about trading our best players. We lose this game, it goes from highly unlikely we make the playoffs historically to darn near impossible we make the playoffs historically. And all that's between us and 1-3, the Carolina Panthers. Who wins the fight? A lot of times it's the person that wants to be in the fight most. You can't be in a fight and be half-stepping. The Bengals are going to be full-stepping. Can the Panthers show up with that kind of fight for the second straight week? Andy Dalton was asked how dangerous the Bengals are. This is his answer.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great team. I mean, their record doesn't show exactly who they are. Everybody knows what type of players they have over there and the success that they've had. So, I mean, you can't take them lightly. They, even their game on Monday, I mean, they're still scoring a lot of points, putting themselves, close in that game. It could have gone either direction, and that's been kind of the story of every game they've played so far.
They are dangerous. They are talented, even if their record doesn't show it. They are also a historically slow starting team. The first month of the season has never been favorable for this version of the Bengals. They're kind of the anti-Dolphins, right? The Dolphins always start hot. By midseason, like Tua is an MVP candidate, and their power rankings number 1 or 2 in the league. By the end of the year, they've tumbled down. Bengals flip it. So don't be the team that flips it if you're the Carolina Panthers. Don't fall for it. They're playing possum.